this is Rod. Welcome back to Academia Magica. And while we're still in the grip of summer, today we will take it light and we'll tell a story. A very interesting story actually, because we will find out what what has to do, the dance, the famous dance of the Seven Veils, what it has to do with the Sumerian Goddess Inanna. And some other connection coming out from this story. Let's start from the very beginning, the account of the story of Salome, the daughter of Herodias, and we'll take the accounts from the Synoptic Gospels, especially the Gospel of Matthew and Mark. So according to the Gospel, John the Baptist was imprisoned by King Herod Antipa, King Herod Antipa being the ruler of Galilee under the Roman Empire. So John the Baptist was imprisoned for having publicly criticized the his wedding to Herodias. Herodias being the ex-wife of his half-brother Herod II. Thus the wedding was kind of considered unlawful because it was like he was being married with his kind of sister-in-law. So one day, on King Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herodia, Salome, dances for the king and his guests, entertaining the party. And the king at the end was so pleased by her performance that grant her a wish. Salome consults with her mother Herodias, which suggests that she should ask for the head of John the Baptist in return. So she asks for it. King Herod has no choice, but he will actually present the head of John to Salome. By the way, on the side note, there is also some speculation about some connection between Herodias and Aradia, the character from the Gospel of the Witches, the book of Leland, published in 1899. So this is just a note. So we still have the account. We have the account of this dance. We have the account of what happened after the dance, but nothing so far is still mentioned about Seven Veils. Later, the story is made into a play by Oscar Wilde in 1891, and in Oscar Wilde's play, Salome's character has a much stronger. She assumes a much stronger connotation of like an incarnation of woman's lust, sexual impulse, sensuality. And here she actually has seven veils that she will let go one by one in the process of dancing, the process of unveiling herself until being completely naked. This play, of course, then will be an opera of Richard Strauss named Salome. And as we say, the Salome portrayed in Wilde's play is really something close to the whore of Babylon, or the Babylon character of Aleister Crowley, as well as connected to the very first striptease maybe ever recorded in history, which is the story of Inanna, the Sumerian goddess Inanna, and her descent into the underworld. Let's travel back then to 1600 BC, in the heart of Sumerian mythology. Before getting into the story, we should know a bit about the characters. So we have, of course, Inanna. Inanna was the queen of Uruk, goddess of love, fertility, beauty, and war. She would be later associated some characteristics to Aphrodite for the Greeks and Venus for the Romans. She has a sister. Her sister is Ereshkigal, and her sister, the older sister Ereshkigal, she's the goddess of the underworld, the land of the dead. And Ereshkigal later on also will have some kind of association, especially in the PGM, in the Greco-Egyptian papyri. She will have some association to goddess Hecate. So the husband of Inanna, the shepherd god Dumuzid, dies, And so Inanna prepares to go save him, to rescue him from the underworld, so the kingdom of her sister Ereshkigal. When Ereshkigal gets to know this, knowing how pretentious and how troublemaking is the sister, which should be coming to her world, to her underworld, she closes the 7 gates that leads to her palace, and she will ask her sister to leave some kind of, is called symbol of power. So she will have to leave at each gate one symbol of her power in order to proceed to the other gate. Inanna follows the demand and leaves something at each gate until the last one she's presenting herself naked in front of the sister. So she is naked but still very angry and very pretentious, to the point that she will walk up to the throne of the sister and sit there. Ereshkigal gets angry as well because of the behavior of the sister, and she will get her beaten up, humiliated, and killed in the underworld. Finally, through the help of the King of Wisdom, Enki, she is brought back to life and saved and rescued, so brought back to Earth. But in exchange of Inanna going back to Earth, Ereshkigal wants to have some bodies in exchange. And this would be chosen to be the husband, Dumuzid, that in the meantime he was also rescued and he was back to Earth, ruling the city of Uruk. So Inanna will go back to Earth, but Ereshkigal would ask for her husband to go down to the underworld instead of her. At this point, the sister of Dumuzid, the goddess Gestianna, intervenes, and she proposed to have herself in her brother's place for 6 months a year, so that at least for the other 6 months Dumuzid would be able to spend the time with his wife Inanna. So the agreement is sealed, and Dumuzid and his sister Gestianna would have to alternate themselves in the underworld for six months each. So as Dumuzid is the shepherd god, when Dumuzid goes down in the underworld, nature becomes sad, and nature would stop producing fruit and vegetable, becoming sterile and cold. While when Gestianna goes to take his place and Dumuzid comes back to Earth, of course the Earth will be producing again flowers and fruit. So here we have the first explanation of seasonality, and we find a very strong connection at this point with the myth of Demeter and Persephone, pretty much very close to the same story. Not only that, talking about a wife that goes to rescue the killed husband, we can also see the connection to the myth of Isis and Osiris. So from this connection between the dance of the 7 veils and the Sumerian goddess Inanna, we also find the connection to the myth of Demeter and Persephone, as well as the connection to the myth of Isis and Osiris. Of course, at this point there may be the question of who is copying who, but there are also some common metrics that we will talk about in another video. So this is it for the discussion of today. Thanks for staying with me as usual. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you will be updated whenever a new video will come up, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.